Welcome back to the Energized podcast. Barry, how are you doing?
Ross, it's good to be back, my man.
It is absolutely brilliant to be back. And it's great to see you wearing your Red Kit jersey.
That is very true, man. That's what I thought the second I left my house. I was like,
The Red Kits are out.
you look very retro.
Now, if you're living under a rock and you didn't see, Energized gave away, we ended up actually giving away 6. Was it 6 or 5?
Well, like it was meant to be, it was 5, then it was meant to be 6, but it's 5 at the end of
Okay,
it.
it's 5. I think one person only won one. We were giving away 5 jerseys for someone who picked the right minute of the goal scored in the Ireland versus Switzerland game, and then 3 people actually guessed the same. So everyone got a jersey, which was actually better, wasn't it?
Yeah. It was basically like a promo competition we did, and we were just test running it to see how it went, and it went pretty well. And the guys at Rec Hits said that they would want us to do more competitions for them, and they were like, "You can do one a week," but I was like, people would probably care less then. So
yeah. Also, then we just be a Red Kit giveaway page.
Yeah. So we were going to do it in a month's time again when Ireland played their last game against Denmark. So we'll do it again then, I'd say.
Yeah, it's gonna be great to give them away.
Yeah.
Who knows? We might do it two games in a row. The Ireland, New Zealand, then Ireland, Denmark.
Yeah, it could be like the same one again, maybe.
Yeah, but we could do the same competition twice. Your prediction stands for both games.
So the same again.
Yeah.
Cool. Yeah. Take it away.
Yeah. So this week, me and Barry weren't actually 100% too sure what we were going to do in the podcast. But if you're new to the podcast, this is what you should do.
Subscribe.
And if you're a returning Energized podcast listener,
welcome back. And if you're enjoying the content, make sure to give us a like. And it sounds like we're begging, but realistically, like, to support the page, this needs to be done.
yeah, if you enjoy watching the show, you might as well just actually give it a thumbs up.
Yeah.
So this week we're actually going to discuss the main man, Joe Rogan. We're going to talk about him, why we like a show, if we don't like something about the show, what it is, and the guests that we would love to see on the show, and the guests he's had on the show who are our favourites.
Yeah, it was just because, as you know, a lot of people support us from the MMA scene, the boxing scene, the football and rugby scene. Ireland were very unimpressive in both football and rugby, so we weren't bothered making a video about that. There's not much boxing action on this week, and also it's just really UFC Singapore this weekend, along with a bit of Bellator, and no one really overly cares about that.
Yeah.
And I think the majority of people will care more that we talked about the main man, Joe Rogan.
We might fly through it at the end if we get time.
Yeah, we will. But I think we should start at the very, very top, because realistically, Joe Rogan is is massively influential in the MMA scene. He's the voice of the Octagon.
Yeah.
He's also one of the biggest podcasts going in the world. He's definitely influenced us to do a podcast, even though we originally wanted it to be a radio show, but our faces weren't ugly enough for a radio, so we decided to go on podcasting. And then we should start at the very, very top. Ross, where do you actually consume Joe Rogan? Do you tend to listen to him on the podcast version, or do you tend to watch him on YouTube?
I tend to do a combination of both. If you have someone who I really like on, like if Mike Tyson's on the podcast, I'm watching it. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But like if it's just a fight companion, I've seen loads of them. I might just listen to it depending on what the fight is as well. Or if it's just him and Eddie Bravo or something like that, or I'll probably just listen to it. More so putting the podcast app in your pocket, walking into work, and like it doesn't stop. I suppose YouTube is like, there was more icons hit on YouTube to take you off that content.
Yeah. Also, I think the YouTube app actually wastes more of your battery.
Yeah.
Also, on my laptop, I actually downloaded ad blocker, because the amount of ads that are coming up these days on YouTube videos.
Yeah.
Because I tend to watch Joe Rogan, so if I'm falling asleep, it's just massive ad that wakes you up. Yeah.
Oh, unreal.
Yeah. I don't know if you can get it for your phone, but you can get it for your laptop.
That's ad blocker.
YouTube ad blocker. So there you go. Make sure to like the video if you're going to use that. But
I think that's like a really good tip for you. You know?
Yeah,
I've never heard that before.
It is. Yeah,
like people are gonna love you for that.
Yeah. Oh no, it's perfect now.
You should do a YouTube video on how to stop ads on YouTube, and people, one of the most viewed YouTube videos on the internet.
Yeah, well, it's just when you're trying to watch it and stuff, and then all of a sudden it's like massive ad, like the same ad.
Bang!
Yeah, but it's always like a really, really loud ad, and you're trying to sleep, and you're like, oh shit.
Yeah, it's like, what am I supposed to buy?
Yeah,
Knives for the kitchen, is it?
Yeah, it's always something so stupid. But yeah, I tend to watch it all the time. I never actually just listen to it on the podcast app because like there's certain podcasts I listen to, and then there's other ones that I like to watch as if it's like a TV show. I feel like podcasts these days are the modern day TV shows.
Yeah, no, they are. Like, it's where people are consuming their content on the internet now, and anytime people watch, like, no one watches live TV anymore except for sports, and that's it.
Yeah.
Otherwise, everyone watches on Netflix, or, you know what I mean?
Yeah, or watch the replays later on. Yeah, Netflix is actually massive these days. That's very true. That is very, very true. Like, for instance, myself and Ross only did this audio-wise, but people wanted us to start doing it on camera more. So
also, it changes the way you do the show, because on camera you automatically need to have much higher level energy as well. Like, and it needs to be obvious higher level energy. Because me and Barry sitting there going, "So Barry, what you think of the fight in the week?" No one will care. You know what I mean? But they don't care.
Yeah, but we are more energized when we're actually talking about something that we're enthusiastic about. i.e. Joe Rogan. Like,
I love talking about Joe Rogan. You love talking about Joe Rogan. People who watch us love Joe Rogan. They think he's great.
Yeah.
So Barry, tell us, what are your favourite things about Joe Rogan?
To be honest, I like the way he's just like seems so chilled out. Like there's some stuff, this might sound controversial, that I'm not overly obsessed with or really, really do like, is the hunting thing. I know like animals getting killed and stuff is just like a way of life, and like people tend to send to slaughterhouses, and then you could be like, oh well, you don't care about that, but like seeing pictures of dead animals and then standing beside them is something that I'm not overly keen on. You know what I mean? Like, I wouldn't follow any hunters, if you know what I mean.
Yeah, they also play up on like, oh, it's the man factor. You're a real man if you're a hunter.
Have you noticed though, on his own Instagram page, he never posted any of the pictures of that?
He probably just isn't arsed like getting like reported on YouTube, because that's probably, or on Instagram, you probably get reported for you.
Maybe yeah. But like other stuff, but that's like a normal thing. You can't like 100, like you don't 100% agree with things that I do, and like I don't 100% agree with things that you do.
What? That's news to me, pal.
You know what I mean? Like, put it this way, like I liked Michael Jordan, but when he went off to play baseball, I was like, that's a terrible decision. You know what I mean?
Oh yeah, 100%.
Yeah. So, but like other things that Joe Rogan does,
what we doing?
Yeah, but other things like that Joe Rogan does, just the hours of content he's given us for free is just something that it's like his fan base is so loyal and it's so diverse as well.
Yeah. Anyone can listen to Joe Rogan. I know 50-year-olds who listen to Joe Rogan. I know 18-year-olds who listen to Joe Rogan. He's probably the best interviewer in the game. You know what I mean?
Yeah, he's definitely up there.
100%.
Yeah. Is there any shows or guests he's had on that you really like before we get into maybe future people?
There's been a few. Elon Musk I thought was brilliant.
Yeah.
Lance Armstrong I thought was really, really good. Mike Tyson was also brilliant as well. They'd be my ones where I was like, geez, that was brilliant.
Yeah. Mike Tyson's podcast, shout out to that as well. Like, that's brilliant. Check that one out.
What about you, Barry?
The one, like, realistically, the one that he had with Tyson Fury on, I think was just one of the best ones, like, because, like, over the last couple of years, mental health has been a big, massive thing talked about. I feel like some people have, like, almost said, it was almost like the cool thing, you know what I mean, like, for a while, but, like, Tyson Fury, when he came on the show and, like, really went into depth about it and, like, left no stone unturned, and unfortunately, at the end, he didn't end up beating Deontay Wilder. It was a draw, but like it would have been such a like unbelievable story. But the story he told and how in depth he got it with Joe was definitely one of the best to check out. You know,
I've never heard someone talk about mental health and describe it so understandably the way Tyson Fury has.
Yeah, but it's because he went through it. Like, you know what I mean?
No, but it was like I've seen other people go through it and like describe it, but once he described it, it was just like, Jesus, like, it actually makes sense, if you know what I mean.
Yeah.
It was so real the way he was like going like blow by blow to what he was doing, and it was just like, I think because he's the heavyweight boxing champion of the world,
lineal,
he can be so like honest and open about it, and like no one go, oh, you're a sap for saying that.
Yeah, no one's gonna bully him or something after. Yeah,
no one can be like, you look for attention, man.
Yeah,
he already has all the attention.
Yeah, he spoke so eloquently and from the heart.
Yeah. Any other ones that you really like?
To be honest, I do like the ones with Brendan Schaub on them when they break down the fights and stuff. They really get into it. I think it's better. Like, those are the ones I really, really do enjoy, and the fight companions as well. I know he has like other comedians on the show as well, but but he has like such random people. So that's where we should get into actually.
Yeah.
Who would we like to see on his show?
Oh, you know who else I like, which is so random and I don't know, but you know your man Mike Baker from the CIA, who was like in the CIA.
No.
He's a fella, and like I just find his interesting because like I think they sort of discuss stuff that they're probably not supposed to discuss about like background things, governmental things in America that like your man's the one. I'm like, that's actually just interesting.
Yeah. By the way, when Jocko goes on, do you feel like an absolute piece of shit, like lazy
stop.
fuck? Yeah.
There's a few of them who go on and I'm just like, oh, you make me feel like I'm like worthless. It was a big gym fella who went on. This tank fella, he does like sort of motivational videos as well.
It's not Jocko Williams, no?
No, there's another black fella who went on as well.
Oh, C.T. Fletcher?
Yeah, C.T. Fletcher. When he went on, I was like, oh, I'm actually a dweeb.
Yeah, so who would you like to see on the show?
I'm sort of like over the Kanye West because like that's been like building for too long. He's like, I want to talk to you off camera for ages, and then we'll go on and do it. It's like, just get on there and say what you have to say. People who I'd love to see.
Wait. Yeah, go on.
I'd love to see him and Barack Obama, just because I was like, that would be cool.
That'll be a good one, yeah.
Who else should I see? Maybe Usain Bolt on there. And oh no, I'll let you pick someone.
That just seems like such a random shout, Usain Bolt.
Yeah, well, like I'd like to see what it would be like to be like talk to the fast man in the world and get like some real answers out of him. I suppose I'd like to see Conor McGregor on there just because it will eventually happen.
Yeah. Conor McGregor, definitely, yeah. I feel like Conor McGregor is too much shit not to say to go on there. Like someone like Donald Trump would be amazing on it, but like he shouldn't be allowed to get that free. Imagine Donald Trump smoking a joint with Joe Rogan and then like just saying all the stuff that he shouldn't be saying.
And then we decide to bomb Afghanistan.
Yeah, it's like
what?
Yeah. Who would I like to see on it?
Hold on. Do you think if someone was a presidential candidate going forward and they went on the Joe Rogan, like that'd be great for their campaign?
Yeah, didn't Bernie Sanders go on it there recently as well?
But I think it was like after he lost.
Yeah, but I think he's trying to run again.
Oh, was he?
Yeah.
Is he not like about to go into his grave? No.
Look at the president of Ireland, like.
Yeah, no, he's like 82 or something.
Yeah. People look at older people and they're like, knowledge. Yeah. Although we all know knowledge is in a beard. But there's certain people I would like to see go on it. There's one guy especially, Adam22 from the No Jumper podcast. He has a load of stuff to talk about. I don't know how that hasn't happened yet because they live in the same city. Other people, I'd like Joe to have certain people on that like are really, really relevant. Like, for instance, I know it sounds random, but like KSI is about to fight Logan Paul. And they're both YouTubers as well. Joe Rogan's technically a YouTuber. Like, that would just do massive numbers. I like it rather than like I know he brings on random people, but someone sort of like the way he doesn't really have that many rappers on, you know, like he could get like Jay-Z on or Kanye West.
Has Daniel Cormier ever done the podcast?
Don't think so.
I think that would be a really good podcast as well.
Yeah,
like, they can both like yap, you know what I mean?
Yeah, or even someone like Ronda Rousey maybe. Or like Tom Brady or something, you know. But like Joe Rogan isn't really into the NFL and stuff like that, you know.
But yeah, but it's still cool to see someone like Tom Brady on there. Or Michael Jordan.
Or Tiger Woods.
Yeah.
Do you see Brian O'Driscoll hanging around with Tiger Woods today?
No,
yeah.
Although I feel like Tiger Woods wouldn't be honest.
Yeah. So like, and then anyone else you really like? Oh, yeah. True Geordie would also be a good one as well. I feel like he's the English Joe Rogan, if you know what I mean.
No, I think like they're like all really, really good shouts. Oh, maybe like Dana White in studio. I think would be good. I know he's done before, like on the plane and stuff like that. But Dana White in studio, or even like Lorenzo Fertitta in studio, just I think they could be interesting.
Why do you think he hasn't had some of the people we've mentioned on? Because I feel like at the drop of the hat, like Adam22 will go on, like Logan Paul would definitely go on.
It could just be a scheduling issue. You know what I mean? Like I'm sure Joe Rogan's like quite busy. Also. Although he does actually arrange all his interviews, so like, that's a bit of a shit excuse. And it's like, oh, sorry, I'm busy. It's like, you just did like 7 interviews in the last 3 days.
Do you think he doesn't really give a shit about...
He probably doesn't care about like the sort of KSI Logan Paul. He probably thinks they make a mockery of the sport he loves, like combat sports.
Yeah, but he must know it would be a big one to get.
Yeah, but I think he's not... I think he values his sort of platform ahead of like just views.
I get what you mean. He is basically like
he's his own show, if you know what I mean. Like
he's like the modern day David Letterman.
Yeah, I honestly just think he's so good at what he does. He doesn't have to talk to anyone he's not interested in. So
That's
like,
the thing,
if he's
yeah.
not interested in that's probably why they haven't been on the show.
Yeah, but
Obviously,
these people creating such a massive platform for themselves must come of some sort of interest to Joe Rogan, you know?
But on the flip side, it has to have beneficial aspect for them as well. If you know what I mean. Like, I'd like to see Floyd Mayweather on the podcast, but I don't think Floyd gains anything from going on Joe Rogan.
Well, if he has a fight coming up,
yeah, well, I think he's going to sell the same numbers basically anyway.
I know what you mean, yeah.
Like someone like Jay-Z, I'd like to see on the podcast as well.
Yeah.
I think that would be cool.
Yeah.
I'd like to see a few people who do the Breakfast Club. Some of those guys.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I'd be interested in see that.
Well, he had like Charlemagne on.
Yeah.
Howard Stern, I'd love to see him have on. He actually...
yeah, but who'd be interviewing who?
He was on Howard Stern's one before. But like it's only an audio version. Make sure to check it out. It's actually some juicy gossip on that.
Juicy.
It actually is very juicy. Let us know in the comments who you'd like to see on Joe Rogan's podcast, because it could be very interesting.
Yeah.
And then maybe one day we can go on it.
What did we say? What our least favorite things about the podcast was?
No.
No.
Oh well, I think not having people like it's not as if I totally want KSI or Logan Paul on it. I just mean like that's a relevant thing coming up very soon that maybe they could have on. Like, you know.
I think sometimes if I had any critiques, which like I'm not really in a position to be critiquing Joe Rogan anyway, but sometimes like they get so in depth on a topic that I'm just like I don't actually know what they're talking about, that like I get disinterested.
Yeah, well, that's the thing about podcasts. They're on for like 2 or 3 hours long.
Yeah.
Like they're gonna start talking about random stuff that maybe you're not that much interested in, and maybe you are. You know,
and I always find like they sort of hypothesize quite a bit. But like, well, maybe people act that way because they drink weird water or something, and then they go down a rabbit hole of like how your brain's affected by what. And I was like,
do you know what? That has to be because they're smoking joints.
Yeah, true.
Do you know what I mean?
Yeah,
that's definitely it. Yeah,
big L dirty reefer.
It's mad. It's mad. By the way, like they smoke joints there, and it's actually like illegal here in Ireland. You know.
Yeah, it's mad, isn't it?
Yeah, and then like how much like CBD oil has become massive now as well. And I think it's only a matter of time till everyone makes it legal. You know, because like if alcohol came out today, it'd be absolutely 100% illegal.
Was there ever a podcast that you watched Joe Rogan's and you were almost disappointed? You were like looking forward to it, and then you were like, oh, it wasn't actually that great.
I remember like Jamie Foxx was on it, and then he was almost on it just to sell whatever he had coming up. You know, I mean, he didn't like respect the platform that Joe had created.
Yeah,
you know what I mean? And then obviously as creators, we can see what angles certain people are taking and different routes. You know, like what reason they're there for, rather than just having a chat. Yeah. They're like, oh, buy my merch, buy my. You know what I mean? You're like,
for me, it was actually Gary Vee, I think, because they're just two different personalities. I think Gary Vee was so like, and if you want to get more followers, you this, and then Joe Rogan's like, it's funny because Joe Rogan has so many followers, but he's almost like against the idea of having followers for the sake of having followers. Yeah, Gary Vee's like all about having followers for the sake of having followers. So like, I felt like it just clashed a bit.
Yeah, Gary Vee sort of living in the younger people's generation. Like he's like on TikTok, whereas Joe Rogan is more like, he's like he's about what pushing nearly 60.
I still don't actually know what TikTok is. I just see people doing videos, dances every now and then on it.
Yeah,
is it the new Vine? Is it?
Yeah, it's basically like Vine. Yeah.
Okay.
But let us know in the comments who you'd like Joe Rogan to have on, because if you had to pick one, by the way,
what we should do? We should do like one of those question boxes on Instagram with that. You know, who would you like to see Joe Rogan have on?
Yeah, we can do that.
If I had to pick one, I'd say like Obama would be pretty cool.
That would be pretty cool. Because
the
presidential election's coming up soon, so you'd like to hear him.
And also, like, he's out of the office, so therefore he can say whatever he wants.
Yeah. Also, what Ross said. Although, if Conor McGregor's come back, I'd like to see him on that as well.
Although Conor McGregor will eventually go on at some stage.
Yeah. But we've linked our Instagram down in the bio down there, so if you want to check it out, make sure you do. We will be doing more competitions as well. Just going to quickly run over the MMA action from the week. First of all, shout out Dylan Moore, and he's fighting this weekend in boxing. I think that's in Belfast. But over the weekend, Dominic Reyes defeated Chris Wyman and remained undefeated.
I think Chris Wyman needs to retire more so than anything.
Yeah, he's 35 now. I didn't know he was that old. This weekend, Damian Moya's taking on Ben Askren. Ben Askren.
What battle of the grapplers? Is that wrecking the head? Is it?
Yeah, maybe I'll just finish it off. And then also on Friday night, Frank Mir's taking on Roy Nelson, and then on Saturday night, Rory McDonald's taking on Douglas Lima. And then if you were a WWE fan on Halloween, Cain Velasquez is taking on Brock Lesnar, and Tyson Fury is taking on Braun Strowman. Who do you think is going to win that?
I'm going to say definitely Tyson Fury is going to win, maybe Brock Lesnar's going to win. But if you actually go on the WWE website, how would it filter this Cain Velasquez's picture?
Very filtered.
Filtered out of it.
Yeah. So that's sort of wraps up the show. Next week, it's UFC 244. Nate Diaz is taking on Masvidal, and we're going to be covering that. So make sure to check it out.
You can also see Seth Rollins take on a clown.
And yeah, that's true. Thanks for checking out. Make sure to subscribe, like, tell a friend, and as always,
stay energized.